Okie dokie. So, last we left off was getting into day 4. When we get into day 4, this will be the last video for a little bit until I see what people are doing with them. Day 4 is not just opening and closing doors. We talked about that. Open doors, close doors. It's also we called how to protect yourself. Protect yourself. How do you protect yourself? With walls. Build that wall. Well, you have to understand day 4 tactics to understand why people want to build walls in a nation. You also have to know how to build walls by an assembly, your body. That builds walls too. If you got certain people in certain positions that operate certain laws, you can be protected. I.e., that's where like Clinton is. She had a firewall up, and that firewall was all those people in position. So I had a ton of people got fired because they're what's called draining the swamp. They can't really tell you everything. They're just telling you this because people will kind of freak out when people are starting to figure it out. Our country's been hijacked. It's been taken over by the dark arts, Babylonian dark arts, and they're trying to create once you find out that Babylon is globalism in a bad way by a tyrant, which is communism, and to build the bridge there would be socialism. People fight for this. I want free stuff from the government. Really? It's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you your freedom. Babylon is globalism, communism, which is Zionism. Now let me just tell you, I believe in Zionism as far as the Foursquare plan. I don't believe in, because I believe the Messiah already came. But Zionism believes that the Messiah didn't come yet, and they want to do it through robbery. They want to build it through robbery, which is oppression. And oppression is all pyramid schemes. Not just, heads and tails and all that stuff and all the bills and everything, but anything that makes me better than you and I have more than you and, every man for himself. It's pretty much what everybody wears in California. I've been here over 7 years now, and there's certain people that are precious to me out here. There's a lot of vile people out here because of the Babylonian dark arts. They're all trained in it, and they become locusts. They become locusts and leeches, and you always have to go what's called. If you don't believe me, just go 90-10 on them. If someone talks about themselves 90% of the time and 10% about you, then they're a leech. Try the litmus test, guys. All you got to do, try to play this game. Play this with your hairdresser. Play it with your barber, with your doctor, wherever in community, your neighbor, your friends. Try to pass the buck to them as much as you can and see if they ever pass it back to you. Try to see if they can make the conversation 50-50. That's one of the, a lot of us are trained in this to, make a friend so we can, put them in a pyramid scheme. So you can put it, so you talk about the client, right? A bunch, more. Don't talk about yourself, so you can sell them something, so they believe that you're their friend, but really you want their money. You can care less probably about them. Some people do. Some people, they understand the 90-10 rule and they care about them, but majority, the people that I see, it doesn't happen. The people are selfish by nature. You got to train yourself not to be selfish. That's your Eastwood policies. Okay. We talked about a lot of offensive things, right? So now we got protecting your walls, and then we got opening, closing doors. Sometimes those are also called gates. This is where you're also walls and gates. How to open, close those gates. Those gates and those doors and those windows are internal and external. But you start finding out when you understand the whole grid, you're going to need angels to open doors for you. You're not going to be able to get in position unless God helps you with an angel, a bunch of them. The same thing, you can't get the information unless God's using angels to get that information to you because it's all hidden. You'll find out this is how a lot of the information came to our group. So a lot of divine stuff happening out here. We just can't get into it because it's a bridge too far. So walls and gates. So to external open gates and doors, that's setting up events and opportunities. If you don't have certain events and opportunities happening that's for good, that means there's a shut door. You have to you have to grow up and get a door open, know how it works. There's also internal, well, you can say all this too, opportunities, also how to get in and out of situations. So that's like, we start to find out there are certain pyramid schemes, certain people oppressing you. There are certain things that's happening in my line of work that there's some pretty bad people running studios. There are some good people out there running studios, but you know, it all depends on what they know and what they're operating. A lot of people like to oppress you. They like to put you under their thumb. I'm at the top, it's my studio, and they talk to you like you're a slave. That's a Westwood operation. But if you're smart, you know how things work. You can get out in and out of that situation and go work for people that you want to work for, or work for yourself if you know how to build, right? So that's getting in and out of certain things. So now you're not going to be scattered. You're going to get out of certain situations, but you want to gather and still build with the people that are good people. Now the studio I work with right now, they're all good people. These people got good hearts. They're champions. They're some of the best dancers in California and in the world. And they're some of the best people, because you're first, like how the owner says it, you're first a good person, then a good teacher, right? And so that's their policy, and that's why it works so well over there. But some other studios, you know, as concerning my line of work and stuff, I've gotten out of them because it's very too pyramid-like for me, too oppressive. So I've learned how to open up those doors and get out, right? But there's internal opening doors and closing doors. You can see on a person when you're trained in the scales, if they have an open door to like a devil working through them. They just have this dark countenance. That's usually why they have to lay the foundation of the Westwood policies that allows you to tip scales your way. Well, it's I am and none else besides me, right? Right? You're very selfish. And when you do that, you want to oppress people, but usually there's a spirit working through you because you got to breach. You got to break in your wheels, and so now you got a stone of emptiness laid on the inside of you, and that grid work allows for demons to walk up and down, to and fro in the midst of you. You won't even know it. You'll think certain thoughts, and you won't even know why you're thinking that, you know, because you have an open door. That's also in this movement how that works in detail. I'm just telling you what's at each level in detail, but without actually breaking it down, because we can break it down, but we'll be here all day. So that's internal. The internal doors, these are the situations you want to get out in external. The internal doors are what you want to set up on the inside of you to shut down those bad spirits from robbing, killing, and destroying. So now we're almost done. The external wall of defense, the external wall of defense, I call it the body of Christ. Right now, it's pretty weak. It needs to understand these tactics of the Northwood tactics. It needs to understand Northwood tactics. What are Northwood tactics? Northwood tactics is how to take over, to overthrow, to overturn, or to remove the wicked and install the just. That sounds like you're judgmental. Well, let me tell you what. When you see all of the original doctrines, you see the laws of the spirit of life and the laws of sin and death and the laws of perpetual increase and laws of perpetual desolation, when you begin to see all of that, and you can, and that's connected to what shall be in the end from the beginning. If you see all that and you still think it's judgmental to to catch someone that wants to leech and locust off of you, that's judgment. We should just let them be who they are. That's who they are. No, I don't think so. You train your children in the way that they should go, and when they grow up, they won't depart from it. You want to train them in good morals and values, right? There are some things out there. On the next few videos, I'm going to really get into some touchy subjects, because after I laid down the groundwork of all the stuff that we have, I mean, there's a bunch of us. We're underground. Let me just tell you, in 2 more years, when the whole new money system comes out, it's over with. Our hand is already strong. We're in 7 spheres of influence. We're in the government sphere, and we're going into the arts and entertainment sphere. It's a takeover. We already have the numbers. I'm out to teach what it is so you can get on the right side of things. We're for everybody, both the left-wingers and the right-wingers. If you've been seduced or you've been sold short by separated the doctrines from you, they took them out and they changed them and hid them. No matter what has happened, when you begin to see all of the teachings and everything's made known, you know, we'd like to join hands with you and let you be part of the team of what's called freedom, Foursquares, what they call the New Republic, the Alliance, the Patriots. And those people are, it's not white people looking to oppress. Let me tell you, some of the nicest white people I know come from the Midwest. These people intermarriage and all that stuff. Interracial marriages happens all the time. Right now, if you were in my school, if you were black, you were popular because we didn't have many black kids. So all that rhetoric that comes out the left, that it's all straight white males and they're the evil this and that. No, they're trying to protect the nation. They're just so happen to be the majority of the nation because it's a white country. We don't go to Asia and be like, you guys are racist because you have no white people, right? That'd be ridiculous, right? But there's been a slow breakdown over time where people buy that stuff, right? So the problem is people don't have anything because of money changing, and they want to use these policies to start taking locusting and leeching from everybody versus understand the way it works, and then we can remove the people that are doing it to us, you know, and then put people in there that will bring freedom, and that's what's already happening. As soon as it unlocks the government sphere, going to arts and entertainment, the media sphere is already being built up. You got all new people teaching online, and all that censoring stuff, and it's going to be done away with, because they're censoring and everything on YouTube right now, trying to get the truth from being out there. But like I said, certain things are a bridge too far for people. You know, it gets into crazier stuff at the top. Like, and so we got next, you know, we got to get into the backstory of where all these things came from. But there's also the next thing we're going to get into. The next video will be how to fight the actual battle. Like how do you overcome the words? How do you overcome the situations? That's at a day 3. But day 4 is when you start to become a ruler and you start to overtake and overthrow. Then 5, 6, and 7 is when you're in a high place. You do everything from 1 through 4, but you're doing it from a higher position. So that's where we are right now. Thank you. God bless you.